Do you support boycotting Israel?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. So, as a mayor, my position is an honorary position, and it's a city manager system in our government, city government. So, the Jewish Voice for Peace group drafted that resolution, came and convinced the city council to unanimously vote for that.
So you voted for it?
I didn't vote for it because I only vote if there's a tie. So it wasn't my idea, it wasn't my initiative. It was the Jewish Voice group.
Did you support it at the time?
I didn't support it. I didn't vote for it. It wasn't my idea.
Did you oppose it?
I didn't have to vote at the time. So
do you support boycotting Israel right now?
Senator, we don't have any companies that deal with Israel in our city.
Okay, with respect, you're not answering my question.
As a
policy matter, do you support BDS? Do you support boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning? Under your leadership, the city you were leading became the first American city in the whole country to pass a BDS resolution, and I'm asking if you support the policy that you put in place.
In the marble halls of power, where every word is measured and every silence echoes louder than truth, one exchange stood apart. A nominee faces the Senate. Questions pierce like spotlights, burning through years of statements, posts, and divided loyalties. On one side, the weight of past words. On the other, the demand for allegiance to the flag and its foreign policy. This wasn't just a confirmation hearing. It was a trial of belief, of loyalty, of what it means to serve the United States while carrying the history of another homeland. As the room fell still, a senator pressed harder on boycotts, on Israel, on the Abraham Accords, on the meaning of a single like that called Jews monkeys. Each question stripped away the politics, revealing something deeper, the uncomfortable collision between identity, ideology, and American diplomacy. Tonight, we go behind the podium to ask, where does conviction end and compliance begin? When does a post from the past become a test of your present? And can a man divided by two worlds truly represent one? This is Behind the Podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ghalib, I am concerned that your stated public positions are markedly in conflict with the views of President Trump and with the positions of the United States. So I want to spend some time talking about your views. Let's talk first about boycott, divestment, and sanctions of Israel. During your tenure as mayor, the Hamtramck City Council passed a resolution supporting the boycott of Israel, divestment from Israel, and sanctions of Israel. Do you support boycotting Israel?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. So, as a mayor, my position is an honorary position, and it's a city manager system in our government, city government. So the Jewish Voice for Peace group drafted that resolution, came and convinced the city council to unanimously vote for that.
So you voted for it?
I didn't vote for it because I only vote if there's a tie. So it wasn't my idea, it wasn't my initiative. It was the Jewish Voice group.
Did you support it at the time?
I didn't support it. I didn't vote for it. It wasn't my idea.
Did you oppose it?
I didn't have to vote at the time. So
do you support boycotting Israel right now?
Senator, we don't have any companies that deal with Israel in our city.
Okay, with respect, you're not answering my question.
As a
policy matter, do you support BDS? Do you support boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning? Under your leadership, the city you were leading became the first American city in the whole country to pass a BDS resolution, and I'm asking if you support the policy that you put in place.
I didn't put it in place, and I don't support it, but it was, like I said, drafted
So your testimony here today is you do not support BDS, you do not support boycotting Israel, divesting from Israel, or sanctioning Israel.
Yes, sir. It was drafted by a Jewish attorney, voted unanimously by the city council.
All right, let's move then to the Abraham Accords. In August of 2020, you posted harsh criticism of President Trump's push to normalize relations between Israel and the UAE. You said that it was a threat to stability and a cause for mourning. Do you continue to oppose the Abraham Accords?
I don't recall writing that, Senator, but at the time, as you know, I was opposed to the president. Up until 2024, I was still not a supporter of President Trump until...
So you opposed President Trump. My question is, do you oppose the Abraham Accords?
No, Senator. I think there's a great opportunity at this time to have a growing momentum and to move with the President Trump peace plan. And there's a great opportunity that we can treat everybody fairly and accomplish regional stability, a long-term, everlasting peace, and get everybody involved in this.
So in this same post, you described Saddam Hussein as a martyr. Do you continue to believe Saddam Hussein was a martyr?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. This is the third time I'm asked. And as I said, I was a private citizen in 2020.
Just asking your views.
Yes, thank you. I will clarify that. It was the day of January 7, 2020, when our military bases were attacked by Iran. And in a moment of anger, because we didn't respond.
So I asked you about today. Do you continue to believe Saddam Hussein was a martyr today?
Senator, I don't think that, no doubt that Saddam was a dictator. And I said it earlier, if this offended anybody who suffered from Saddam, who lost a loved one, I apologize about that.
Okay, so you're not answering my question. Do you believe today that Saddam Hussein was a martyr? That's a yes or no.
I can say no. It wouldn't matter. He's in God's hand. He will get the treatment he deserves. I'm not...
All right, in August of 2020, you posted that the Muslim Brotherhood was an inspiration. Do you continue to believe the Muslim Brotherhood is an inspiration?
Thank you, Senator. I think a lot of my posts were written in Arabic and mistranslated. I believe that, it's an ideology. It's not just a group of people. I disagree with a lot of things that they do. Some of them are extremists. Some of them are part of some governments in the Middle East. So I trust our government to do the research and...
Okay, again, my question was simple and straightforward. Do you continue to believe the Muslim Brotherhood is an inspiration?
No, I'm not part of it. I don't believe in that. But if anybody
but you did post it in 2020. Let me ask you, how would you be able to serve as an ambassador if President Trump designates the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization? I have legislation to do that. I believe it is likely the Trump administration will designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood in Palestine.
I would trust the president, and if it's designated, I will be committed to implement President Trump's policies. I'm not, I trust the president's policy, and if confirmed, I will be implementing the policies of the administration. I mean, I wouldn't go against the president and his policies.
Mr. Ghalib, I will say, from your long-standing public positions, it appears you have a deep-felt and passionate view about the Middle East, but it is a view that is in direct conflict with the policy positions of President Trump and this administration. I will point out also that, and you've been asked about this before, but it is really quite astonishing, that on Facebook, you liked a post that called Jews monkeys for their own benefit.
Thank you, Senator.
Why would you like a post that calls Jews monkeys?
Thank you. I explained that earlier. From 2010 to 2000, before I became the mayor, I used to have a bad habit of acknowledging every post, every comment under my post. Doesn't mean that I agree with it, just acknowledging. But there were a response under that was not translated or interpreted that says you can say this in your country but not in this country, which means that I did not agree with that post, even though I acknowledge it. I know it was a bad habit, but let me be clear. I don't agree with that statement, and I treat everybody with respect in my official capacity.
And let's be clear, the statement that you liked said they are all monkeys for their own benefit. So every Jew is a monkey.
I don't agree with that statement, Senator. And the person who wrote it is mentally challenged in our community. He is well known. I used to have this idea of inclusivity in my past, ideology. I changed in 2024. I changed even my party,
Mr. Ghalib, there may well be positions within the Trump administration that you are qualified to perform in that are unrelated to these issues that you have such passionate beliefs about. I believe your beliefs are sincere. I believe that when you became the mayor of the first city in America to pass a BDS resolution, it's because you believe in BDS. I disagree with you on that. That is contrary to the policy of the United States government, but you're entitled to have your own views.
But
What I do not understand is how you could possibly serve as a United States ambassador for President Trump in the Middle East when you have passionate views, including having been a vocal opponent of the Abraham Accords, the singular and most consequential accomplishment President Trump has negotiated, and your longstanding views are to publicly oppose the Abraham Accord.
Thank you, Senator. Let me be clear. I support the Abraham Accord, and I think there's a golden opportunity to get everybody involved in that. And let me be clear, in February of 2022, as the mayor, the first thing I did is to pass a resolution to condemn anti-Semitism. It's documented. That's what I perform in my official capacity. The other things, people are making assumptions based, trying to judge my intention.
I'm curious, would a statement like all Jews are monkeys, would that qualify as anti-Semitism?
Well, that's, somebody wrote it who's mentally challenged.
Now, my question is, does the statement all Jews are monkeys, does that qualify as anti-Semitism?
I don't agree with it, Senator.
Okay, you're not answering my question.
It's definitely anti-Semitism, but clicking on it doesn't mean I endorse it. It's
well,
just
actually,
like
means exactly that. When you like something, it means you like
Senator,
something.
every post since 2010, every comment, because I used to have like 10, 20 comments, I used to acknowledge it, to read it, but sometimes I would respond under it to oppose it. And there was a response here that wasn't translated by the media that says you cannot say this in your country. It wasn't translated. And when I met with Senator...
But that's not disagreeing with the statement that all Jews are monkeys.
But let me be clear now. I disagree with that.
But you didn't at the time.
You are making assumptions, sir.
No, I'm asking. I'm not making an assumption. That's a question.
I did disagree at the time, and I still disagree.
Did you disagree publicly? Did you say a word of disagreement, or was your only public statement a like, which is the universal method of saying you like something and agree with it?
Everybody who asked me, I told them it doesn't mean I endorse it. It's just acknowledging reading it, but I am opposing that, and I make it clear now. I passed a resolution to condemn anti-Semitism in all forms or shape.
So... you mentioned earlier that the posts were in Arabic and they haven't been translated right. I have in my hands right now one of those Arabic posts on August 13th, 2020, and I have the English translation. Among other things, you talk about individuals who died in Egyptian prisons, and you said, quote, "They die to be etched on the pages of history, stained in positions that inspire generations and make millions of Brotherhood fans exposed to a global demonic campaign and unprecedented demonic media infliction. I have only seen such situations in the martyr Saddam Hussein and his companions. May God have mercy on them."
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I was talking about standing firm for the cause of a person doesn't mean I agree with him. I am a strong advocate of democracy in the Middle East. Yes, I was against the military coup, and I believe in democracy. That's the best value that we have, and we want everybody to enjoy that value in the Middle East. So I was advocating for democracy in the Middle East. Doesn't mean that I support certain group, but I support democracy. And
well, as I said, I think your longstanding views are directly contrary to the views and positions of President Trump and to the position of the United States. I, for one, am not going to be able to support your confirmation. And I want to enter into the record this post in both the Arabic and English translation. I ask that it be entered into the record.
It'll be entered into the record without objection.
Look, I think the facts here are quite clear, and your longstanding position is directly contrary to that of the president's.
Senator, if confirmed, I will be implementing President Trump's policies with no objections. Thank you.
I want to thank all of you for your patience today, your participation, the answers that you provided to the committee.
The Senate hearing room is quiet, but tense. In Washington, silence isn't peace, it's pressure. It's the kind of silence that settles in when the air itself knows something bigger is unfolding. The man at the witness table, once a small-town mayor, now sits before the United States Senate, facing questions that reach far beyond his resume. His name is on the nomination list for a diplomatic post under President Trump's administration. But today, his record isn't what's on trial. His beliefs are. What begins as routine questioning quickly turns into a moral cross-examination, a clash between personal history and national duty. It starts with the issue of BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israel. The senator's tone is sharp, his words deliberate. He asks, "Do you support boycotting Israel?" The nominee hesitates. His response is procedural, not personal. He speaks of city councils and honorary titles, about resolutions drafted by others, distancing himself from the very action that made his city the first in America to adopt a BDS resolution. But the senator cuts through the deflection. "With respect, you're not answering my question," he says. "It's not about who wrote the resolution or whether he cast a vote. It's about belief. Do you support BDS, yes or no?" And for a moment, the room feels like a courtroom. Every pause is an admission. Every word is a verdict. The nominee insists, "No, Senator, I do not support BDS." He calls it a misunderstanding, something born from community influence, not conviction. But the damage is already done. His name is tied to a movement many in Congress view as hostile to America's ally, Israel. The questioning shifts, this time to the Abraham Accords. The Accords were one of President Trump's most celebrated diplomatic achievements, a bold step toward normalizing relations between Israel and Arab nations. But in 2020, the nominee's own social media told another story, a post condemning the Accords as a threat to stability, words of opposition written in the heat of global politics. So when the senator asks, "Do you continue to oppose the Abraham Accords?" it's more than a policy question. It's a loyalty test. The nominee denies the post at first, says he doesn't recall writing it, then concedes he had opposed President Trump back then. But now he says he supports the Accords fully. He even calls them a great opportunity for everlasting peace. To the casual listener, it's a diplomatic answer. To the seasoned observer, it's a pivot. And in politics, pivots aren't always about truth. They're about survival. Then comes the moment that shifts the entire atmosphere. Saddam Hussein. A Facebook post written years ago in Arabic where the nominee referred to the former Iraqi dictator as a martyr. The senator leans forward, his voice cold and unflinching. "Do you still believe Saddam Hussein was a martyr?" The nominee's hands clasp tighter. He explains it away, that it was written in anger after U.S. bases were attacked by Iran, that it was emotion, not ideology, that he doesn't see Saddam as a hero. But again, the senator presses, "Yes or no, do you still believe Saddam was a martyr?" And for a split second, the hesitation says more than any statement could. He finally says, "He's in God's hands." It's not a yes, but it's not a no. And in Washington, anything less than clarity sounds like contradiction. The senator's questions keep coming, this time about the Muslim Brotherhood. In another old post, the nominee called the organization an inspiration. Now, the Brotherhood isn't just a group, it's a symbol of ideology, of resistance, and for some, of extremism. The nominee insists his words were mistranslated, that what he meant was about values, not violence, that he doesn't support extremism, only democracy in the Middle East. But when the senator reminds him that the Trump administration might soon label the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization, the nominee quickly adjusts again. "I will implement President Trump's policies with no objections," he says. It's a statement meant to end the question. Instead, it deepens the doubt. Because the issue is no longer what he believes, it's whether he believes anything at all. And then, the moment that freezes the entire room, the monkeys post. A Facebook like on a comment that described Jews as monkeys for their own benefit. The senator doesn't hold back. Why, he asks, would you like a post that calls Jews monkeys? The nominee's defense is clumsy but human. He says he had a bad habit of liking every comment under his posts to acknowledge engagement, not agreement. He says the person who wrote it was mentally challenged. He says the words were never translated properly. But the senator won't let it pass. Would you consider that statement anti-Semitic, he asks. After several dodges, the nominee finally admits, yes, it is anti-Semitic. And yet, the room feels unconvinced. Because when someone has to be cornered into condemning hate, their moral compass comes into question. The exchange grows heavier. The senator lists post after post, Arabic writings translated into English, all referencing Brotherhood martyrs, demonized media, and calls for ideological resistance. Each line read aloud sounds like an indictment. The nominee, sweating under the fluorescent lights, insists it's all a misunderstanding, that he meant democracy, not division, that he has changed, that his actions as mayor prove his commitment, pointing to his 2022 resolution condemning anti-Semitism. But by then, the narrative is written. To the senator, it's not about one post or one resolution. It's about a pattern, a worldview that doesn't align with the administration he's supposed to serve. And in the final moments, the senator delivers the conclusion. Your long-standing views are directly contrary to the position of the president and the United States. I cannot support your confirmation. What makes this exchange so gripping isn't just the clash of politics, it's the collision of identity. Here's a man of Arab heritage navigating the sharp edges of American diplomacy, trying to reconcile the two halves of his story, one shaped by faith, homeland, and sentiment, the other by allegiance, oath, and the expectations of the most powerful office in the world. But in the age of digital permanence, your past never truly dies. Every word, every post, every like becomes evidence. And in Washington, evidence becomes ammunition. This wasn't just a Senate hearing. It was a reflection of how the internet has blurred the line between private emotion and public accountability, between opinion and loyalty, between the person you were and the official you hope to become. The truth is, the hearing wasn't just about one nominee. It was about the tension every public servant faces, the choice between standing by your convictions or reshaping them to fit the power you seek. Because in the end, politics doesn't just test what you believe, it tests what you're willing to say you believe. And that is the real trial, behind the podium.